Hello, this is J183, and this is another episode of Pierre's Path to Glory. This is the Singapore Grand Prix, episode 36, I believe. And yeah, we're getting quite near the end of the season 2 now, and I'm closing in on that World Championship. I think if it all goes well, I could have won it by the end of next Grand Prix in Malaysia, but forgetting about that, let's just focus on Singapore. And on the strapatisation test, it's been pretty much fully purple and easily enough for the purple score on this lap, so that's 50 resource points. And I'd just like to mention, I do apologise for the lack of uploads this week of career mode. Normally I try to do 2 a week, but it had to come down to maybe not even 1, but I'll get one up today. And yeah, that is due to the fact that I have exams quite a lot over the next few weeks. So once they finish, I'll be back on the YouTube, back doing YouTube like hopefully close to daily as I was in like February and March. But yeah, nevertheless, on to qualifying. This is my only running qualifying. And yeah, it's on super soft tyres, even though the ultra softs are available, because there was rain forecast in the race. So I want to go as far as possible. So yeah, the super soft tyres, that didn't leave me on pole, but it left me in 5th place, just 2 tenths off of my teammate Max Verstappen. So that looks good, because the delta is higher than 2 tenths. So Verstappen on pole, just 3 thousandths ahead of Kimi Raikkonen, with Carlos Sainz and Nico Carey. The Suzuki are also doing well in 3rd and 4th on the 2nd row of the grid. Fernando Alonso in 6th, with 2 Mercedes, Ricciardo and Hamilton 7th and 8th, with Button, Bottas and Ocon running at the top 11. Ocon doing very well in his manner. And then Kevin Magnussen in 12th for Renault, which is 1.2 seconds off the pace, with Grosjean, George Russell also doing quite well in his manner, with Charles Leclerc 15th, Julian Palmer not matching his teammate as you'd expect, with Hülkenberg, Verline, Perez, Giovinazzi, and Steve is running out the people who set a time, with Sebastian Vettel choosing not to for some reason. So let's get into the race.
One and all to the shining streets of Singapore. Can you believe we've been coming here for nearly a decade now? It feels like only yesterday that Felipe Massa was dragging his fuel hose down the pit lane in that eventful opening race, and in a Grand Prix won from pole position more often than not, will we see a new victor crowned today?
So race strategy then, as I'm starting on my super soft tyres, it looks like quite a straightforward one stop. But there is rain forecast, so it's going to depend on how far I can get into this race before we make the pit stop. So yeah, I'm going to try and maybe just stretch the super softs out, but I have to, I'll put onto ultra softs before the rain comes. But yeah, underfuel the car quite a lot. It's getting to the 5 red lights then for the Singapore Grand Prix. They're on now, and lights out, and away we go from 5th place on the grid. Good start, straight ahead of Carlos Sainz. And now we're going to try and challenge Nico Carey for 3rd place onto the first corner, braking later then, and swing it right on the outside. Verstappen leads from Raikkonen, and then myself and Carey are still side by side through turn 3 now. And Nico Carey on those ultra soft tyres does have the tyre advantage as it stands. But I'm going to have the inside line for turn 5, and now we're going to go side by side down one of the only overtaking opportunities at the Singapore Grand Prix. We have the advantage on Nico Carey right now. We have a car length ahead, but he's going to have the slipstream, and he's going to come alongside me down towards turn 6, and yeah, Carey alongside. It's going to be quite a good battle, it looks like. And I have to leave him the space on the inside. He almost forces me off track. He does force me off track, in fact. Nico Carey, very forceful there. But I'm still alongside into the middle sector now, which is not what you want to be, because it's quite dangerous to go side by side. But Carey almost forced me into a wall there. And he's being very elbows out, very much so. And yeah, Nico Carey does hold that position for now, so I'm down to 4th place. Now on the start of lap 2, you can see the gap that Verstappen and Raikkonen have already in the lead, and I'm still stuck behind Nico Carey. But now yeah, it's the roles reversed from previous lap, as I now have the advantage of slipstream down towards turn 7 for the 2nd time in this race, and we're going to try and go for a move on Nico Carey. It looks like, get my tyre wrong side, go for a bit of a lunge, and he's trying to hold it around the outside, very well onto it, has to leave him the space. But Nico Carey looks like he's going to hold it up the inside. It's side by side through the section once again with Nico Carey. Very good racing, but he has to yield now, and I can take the line I want through this middle sector section down towards Singapore Sling. But yeah, it's up to 3rd place now, and here's the advantage. Is Raikkonen, this lap 3 onto Verstappen. Raikkonen's got DRS, he's going to go for a move, and Kimi Raikkonen takes the lead at the Singapore Grand Prix, and I'm still quite a long way behind this, so I've got a bit of work to do to catch up. But yeah, here we go, onto lap 5, and I have caught up. Max Verstappen seems to be struggling on his ultra soft tyres that she qualified on, and he's going to come into the pits actually, so is Kimi Raikkonen ahead. So that's going to release me into the lead of the race, as these are on ultra soft, so they've pitted quite early. I've just set a purple lap as well, so it's all going well. And yeah, we now have quite a big lead over everyone who's pitted on for ultra softs. Let's look at a replay at the start, and the little battle that myself and Nico Carey had. You can just see how good of a launch it was. Carlos Sainz bogged down. And yeah, I go straight past Sainz and alongside Carey, try and swing it right on the outside. The Mercedes of Ricciardo overtook Alonso as well for 6th place. And I was side by side through turn 3, and for the whole lap pretty much it seemed. And the Manners in the background of the Renault, they're getting very close for comfort. But yeah, down towards, you can just see how close myself and Nico Carey got. And yeah, that was when I just saw him out, and we saw what happened the rest of the lap. And now this is the gap I'm working with. I have quite a big gap over, I think it's Kevin Magnussen in 2nd, with Esteban Ocon 3rd, with the likes of Hülkenberg, Russell, Palmer, and I think it was Charles Leclerc rounding out the top 6 as it stands. This is just because they're all going quite long in the strategy. Here's Carlos Sainz, who's who's pitted early, so he's behind all this group, and there's Sergio Perez, who's not pitted yet, and he's actually spinning Sainz. Sainz has lost half his front wing, so that's not gone well for Sainz, as he qualified third on the grid, or fourth on the grid, I think. And yeah, Sainz already lost half his front wing, so he's going to make another pit stop. And now asking about the weather, because it looks like the weather has started to affect this race, but not quite yet, as it says 10 minutes time, I think the engineer said there. So that means I'm going to pit onto a set of ultra softs, as my super softs were struggling to cope. So pit onto ultra softs now, and then just go absolutely flooring it until the intermediate period in a few minutes time, and then hopefully that'll be good. An absolutely monstrous pit stop, 1.8 seconds from Red Bull there. So it's very nice to see. And the team have been working very hard all season. They're one of the best on the grid as for pit stops. And here is Fernando Alonso, who's a lap down actually, but we're going to come out behind Sebastian Vettel, that is, who also hasn't pitted, as he started last, so 3 shots of tyre. But yeah, it's basically all the people who are fast but not quite in the top 10 are leading this race now, because they were able to have free tyre choice. And here's Sebastian Vettel, who I'm all over the back of. And yeah, you can just see the likes of the Renaults, the Manas are leading this race right now, and the House of Charles Leclerc as well. So Sebastian Vettel pits. He had super soft, so it makes sense that he could only go a lap further than I could, despite them not doing qualifying. Sebastian Vettel not able to stretch them out too far, but now straight on the back of Jolyon Palmer, we're going to go up the inside now, and I think this is for our 4th place, and there's Nico Hülkenberg ahead. Alright, it might actually be for 2nd place, as Hülkenberg looks like he's winning at the minute, and yes he is. So Nico Hülkenberg leading a race, hopefully he gets a podium, as I'm quite a fan of his in real life. But let's not get into that. And Al through the Singapore sling, he's absolutely holding me up a treat, because he's on these soft tyres, and I'm on ultra softs that are new, so he's on old soft. So the tyre difference is absolutely massive. We go right at the inside, quite a bit of contact over Hülkenberg, but I'm sure he'll get over it. And now we're down towards the Anderson Bridge. He has just got to let me through into the lead, and yeah, ultra soft tyres really make a big difference compared to his soft, as I've said. And yeah, this is on to the end of the lap after now, and it looks like it's going to be quite a good lap. Everyone else has pitted, I think, or Hülkenberg may have just dropped a lot off, but 1.6 seconds purple. And yeah, that is the difference between my super softs that I set the previous purple lap on and these ultra softs. And then a lap later, we take another 2/10 off the time, 1:41.8, and I'm just absolutely flying at this point. And this is the gap I've got. So yeah, Verstappen was actually in second, but he's going to the pits again for another set of, I think, dry tyres. I'm not sure what he's going to go on to. But so is Raikkonen and Daniel Ricciardo is Mercedes onto another set of super softs. So they're not really forward thinking it. It's about to start raining. You can see now it has started raining, and I'm really struggling on his ultra soft. So yeah, they've pitted literally about a lap or two ago, and now they've got to come in again for the intermediates. So very strange decision from the AI there. I've accidentally just lost it and gone over the curb, but now coming to the pits onto the intermediates, and hopefully I don't know if it's going to get heavier, but it might be worth not pitting again, because intermediates on full wet track isn't that bad, especially at a track where it's low speed like Singapore, and it's quite easy to just keep cars behind you if they try and close up. But yeah, with 10 laps to go, 1.9 second pit stop, another good one from Red Bull, and yeah, hopefully everyone else will be pitting as well, so I can retain a massive gap that I've got, and yeah, I do, just that. And here is the second place now, Jolyon Palmer, who stayed out on softs at the minute, but then it's Daniel Ricciardo, I think this is, on the intermediate, so he's in the next second place, with Jenson Button up in 3rd place at the minute, with Sebastian Vettel just behind, and then it's Kevin Magnussen, as Palmer has messed up by trying to stay on his dries a lap too long. And here is an engine failure, that is. I think it's Carlos Sainz, so his race went from bad to worse, as he had that front wing damage earlier, but now onto lap 26, and I'm trying to lap a Sauber here. I think it's Will Stevens, not doing very well, but now I've got some team radio from the team.
It's borderline, but if I were you, I'd come in and change tyres. I'm just not sure we're on the right ones for the conditions anymore.
So yeah, the team think it is time for full wets, but I beg to differ. Here's a little tip: if any of you like, even in career mode, or more importantly for league races, as Perez makes it difficult for me to lap him, but yeah, for league races, I'm going to take this into consideration. Intermediate tyres on a full wet track isn't actually that bad. You can see Perez on wets, and I'm still overtaking it. Like, this may not be a good example because the Force India is really slow in this career mode. But yeah, intermediates on full wets, especially as a track like Singapore, where the pit lane is so long, and yeah, it might not be worth pitting with only a few laps to go if it's full wet conditions. If it's intermediates, it is probably worth pitting, but intermediates on full wets works very well, but wets on intermediates don't work, I'll just give you that. And now this is the final lap of the race, and Charles Leclerc, who had the advantage of starting outside the top 10, is still holding down. I think it's about 7th place, and he's got Ricciardo and Kimi Raikkonen and Lewis Hamilton right behind him, and Nico Carey actually. But now let's focus on ourselves, and it looks like we'll come around the final few corners to take the victory of the Singapore Grand Prix, as long as I don't bottle it right now, which doesn't look like it's going to happen. Come across the line to win the Singapore Grand Prix. So So I win the race by 1 minute and 21 seconds in the end from Daniel Ricciardo and Sebastian Vettel, who went from last place to third, so well done to him. Jenson Button up in fourth, and Nico Hülkenberg fifth. Very well done to them two. And Kevin Magnussen in sixth place, with Lewis Hamilton actually did manage to take both Verstappen and Leclerc on the last lap. But Leclerc getting only his second lot of points since his win in Silverstone in 8th place with Verstappen, and I think it was someone else running out 10th place, I'm not sure who it was. But everyone else in the bottom 11, all a lap down or DNF, with Jolyon Palmer, Grosjean, Raikkonen falling down the order quite a lot from second place on the grid, with Perez, Bottas, Verline, Stevens beating Giovinazzi, Fernando Alonso a lap down, I'm not sure what happened to him, and Carlos Sainz and George Russell going to finish. But the Drivers' Championship then, I have a 125 point lead, so there's at least 6 races left. If Verstappen doesn't beat me in Malaysia, then I've won the title. That's how close it is. I've been absolutely smashing it lately. I think we've only been off the podium once this season, but yeah, the Constructors looking good as well, almost 500 points for Red Bull now. But only Verstappen can stop me, and he can stop me by just beating me in the next race. That's the only way he can finish. He can stop me taking the title in Malaysia. Hopefully I don't have an energy failure, and that would be pretty disappointing as Hamilton did in real life. But yeah, career score and all that, you know what's going on. But then this is I've had 1 non-podium this season, so that's why 5 wins in a row now. But if you like this video, leave a like on it, subscribe if you want to see more. This has been Jamie 3, and I will see you next time.